Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. For today's video, we are going to continue covering various aspects of the lore of the Rimworld universe, and this video is going to be dedicated to its various animals. Just as a disclaimer, this video is not going to cover every single animal within Rimworld, as I'm pretty sure most of you already know what a goat or a horse is. Rather, I'm going to be focusing on the animal life forms that are unique to the Rimworld universe, such as boomalopes, the wargs, and the thrombos. With this being said, let's begin. The first animal I'm going to talk about is also probably one of the first you will ever meet within the game. The boomrat is a small creature with the potential of bringing great destruction. Boomrats are, as the name implies, a type of medium-sized rodents. Their bodies present small sacs on their back that continuously produce a highly flammable internal secretion. Upon a boomrat's death, a chemical reaction most likely triggered from the brain or the heart, as they will cease to function, will rapidly ignite their internal secretion, causing the boomrat's corpse to violently explode, setting its environment ablaze. Boomrats are especially dangerous towards large farms, as a boomrat's death within a field will quickly set ablaze and burn down every crop. While biologists at first believed for the boomrat to be the result of an attempted bioweapon, it is essentially being a rat carrying a non-disarmable firebomb on their back, which could go off at any time. It was later discovered that boomrats were originally engineered as a primitive renewable fuel source, an experiment resulting in failure, as a method of safely collecting its secreted chemical was never developed. But this biological modification resulted in a great self-defense system for the boomrat, as wild animals tend to steer clear and avoid hunting boomrats. Larger than your average rodent, adult boomrats can reach a weight of 12 kilograms and have enough strength to carry or move 15 kilograms, essentially more than their own body weight. They are often found within forests and have a life expectancy of 8 years on average. When reproducing, female boomrats can give birth to up to 3 babies within a gestation period of 5 to 6 days. While omnivorous, a wild boomrat's diet will mainly consist of grass or berries, as they are not a predatory animal. When threatened, boomrats will defend themselves by scratching with their front paws and biting with their teeth, sometimes even headbutting their attackers, as their weight allows them to deliver a fairly painful blow. Following on the list is what the boomrat wishes could have been, and one of mankind's greatest successes in terms of bioengineering: the boomalope. Boomalopes are large herbivore animals, fairly similar to the boomrat, as they will also grow large sacs that will internally secrete a flammable chemical compound on their back, with the main difference from the boomrat being that the boomalopes can be milked regularly in order to obtain the secreted chemical, to be later on used mainly as fuel, essentially making the boomalopes a self-renewable source of chemical fuel. Much like the boomrats, a boomalope will upon death trigger a reaction within its body, causing its sacs to ignite and rapidly explode, albeit in a far more violent and destructive manner than the boomrat, as boomalopes are far larger, with an adult reaching an average weight of 120 kilograms. Even a boomalope juvenile will weigh up to 60 kilograms, with babies averaging around 24 kilograms at birth. Curiously enough, a boomalope's body, probably due to its secretion, developed a natural resistance against airborne toxins and bacteria, allowing to survive fairly well within polluted or toxic environments for short periods of time. Due to their highly valuable chem fuel production, boomalopes are a popular choice for animal breeders, although they present a high risk. Their health must be checked regularly and scrupulously, and they are better kept in separate pens or small groups within buildings located far away from housing spaces or other flammable materials, as a boomalope dying overnight in its sleep, either due to an untreated illness or by old age, will explode, possibly killing other nearby boomalopes and triggering a large chain reaction, easily blowing up small farmhouses or breederys. Comical perhaps in the grand scheme of things, the boomalope is still an animal that should be handled with great care and caution by knowledgeable experts. Following on that, an animal closely related to the boomalope is the toxalope. Toxalopes are distant relatives of the boomalopes, fully adapted and evolved to thrive under heavily polluted and toxic environments. Excepting their weak and sickly aspect, the main difference between a toxalope and a boomalope is that toxalope's back pouches do not produce flammable chem fuel. Rather, they carry a toxic gaseous compound which is quickly liberated in the air upon a toxalope's death, as the sacs will rapidly burst, spreading the poisonous gas all around. While still herbivorous, toxalopes weigh generally less than bumalopes do, and we can speculate that they have evolved in a way to filter the toxicity out of their food, water and air, depositing it within the insides of their back sacs. Without any use and presenting nothing but a threat, toxalopes are generally hunted or raised as cattle within toxic or polluted environments for their flesh. And while on the subject of animals thriving within pollution and toxicity, let's quickly go over the waste rat. Waste rats are a race of rodents evolved from the common rat. Fully adapted to a life within toxic and poisonous environments, waste rats are noticeably larger and more dangerous than regular rats. With an adult reaching a weight of up to 18 kilograms, waste rats can grow quite big. They are also capable of delivering a nasty poisonous bite, meaning that a small swarm of waste rats could easily down a person just through sheer toxic buildup within their bodies. The next animal we are going to discuss about is the alpha beaver. A rare sight even on wild Rimworlds, alpha beavers are, like the name suggests, a large type of beavers, genetically engineered to efficiently cut and harvest trees, but do not underestimate them, as alpha beavers were genetically engineered to eat a specialized type of feed, and in its absence they will enter a manic state, compelling them to rapidly gnaw down and eat trees whole, as their internal metabolism and dendrivorous diet allows them to rapidly digest wood, but gaining little to no satiation or nutrition from it, forcing them to rapidly continue devouring any tree within their path, and if disturbed, alpha beavers will not hesitate to retaliate, becoming highly aggressive and capable of delivering severe wounds with their large and strong teeth. More dangerously so though, alpha beavers commonly live and travel in large groups, and their presence often spells doom for any nearby forest, as the alpha beavers will make quick work out of any encountered tree, devouring entire forests before moving on to the next ones. Because of that, alpha beavers are an invasive species that should be dealt with accordingly upon being discovered in a natural environment, as their insatiable appetite for trees can pose a threat to entire ecosystems. Luckily, alpha beaver seems to prefer only arid shrublands and tundra biomes, somehow controlling their spread around various planets where they are found in the wild, while their numbers are being somewhat controlled by wild predators as well. Beyond their novelty as an exotic pet, wild alpha beavers have little to no use as a domestic animal, especially in Rimworlds where, with no way of procuring their specialized feed, their fast metabolism will quickly drain its owner's finances, which makes the alpha beaver a pet usually kept only by the rich and wealthy as a status symbol. Megascarabs, sphelopedes, and megaspiders all belong to the insectoid group, a caste of genetically engineered giant insects originating from the planet Sorn. Initially bioengineered as weapons to fight off mechanized invasions, insectoids have now infested many worlds across the galaxy. It is unclear how or when insectoids manage to reach most of the worlds they have infested, but they present a great threat to the local population. I have a full video dedicated just on this subject, describing each insectoid in detail along with their lore, which if you're curious you can find on my channel. Iconic and just as dangerous, the next animal is going to be the warg. Wargs are some of the fiercest, most dangerous carnivore predators within the entire universe. In terms of looks, wargs resemble wolves, but with less fur, unnaturally long and strong claws, and a bigger, stronger bone structure and muscular build, especially within their jaw. Even if unprompted, wargs are likely to attack nearby humans for food, and despite not being pack animals unlike wolves, lonely wargs should still not be underestimated, as they were biologically engineered in the past to serve in military in population suppression operations, before being released into the wild and becoming a common sight on Rimworlds especially. Their strength is almost unparalleled, matched only by their ferocity, to the point where some tribal cultures believe wargs to be the creation of angry, cruel gods. As far as their diet goes, wargs are pure carnivores. They will feed only on raw meat or corpses, even if already rotting, as wargs are also highly resistant towards toxic and polluted environments, likely intended to ensure a warg survival through toxic war zones. Despite their ferocity, wargs were initially bioengineered to serve a master and act like loyal combat dogs, meaning that taming a wild warg, albeit extremely difficult and dangerous as they are very likely to attack upon a failed taming attempt, it is still entirely possible. Wargs are commonly tamed and raised by Itaki pirates and used during raids on other colonies as frontline fighters, as wargs are very quick and resilient and can easily dismember most enemy combatants, especially fighting in a pack. They will shred through armor, flesh and bone without difficulty. But let's follow this up with a contrast. If the warg is one of the most vicious animals in the universe, then it will be worth mentioning its total opposite, the mega sloth. Originally from Earth, the mega sloth was a long extinct species also referred to as Megatherium, an elephant-sized type of sloth dating to more than 10,000 years in the past. Its extinction, at least according to the Rimworld universe, caused by this animal being overhunted by the native population of America, an ancient continent from the planet Earth. But after the discovery of DNA manipulation, cloning, bioengineering and artificial gestation, it won't take long for a group of scientists to gather around all of these techniques together in order to bring the mega sloth back to life and spread it across the entire universe, likely as it will function really efficiently as a herbivore within artificial ecosystems created with the purpose of terraforming. Despite its intimidating size, with an adult reaching a weight of up to 240 kilograms, the mega sloth is rather tame and peaceful towards anyone approaching it, but don't mistake its kindness for weakness, as if properly provoked, the mega sloth won't hesitate to shred through people whole by using its giant claws. Speaking of woolly creatures though, the most popular choice for ranchers around the universe is most definitely the muffalo. The muffalo is a large herbivore animal initially descending from the buffalo. Muffalos have adapted to both cold and warm climates and are often seen in large herds in the wild, grazing along grassy fields or accompanying large trading caravans, as their size and strength makes them really efficient pack animals. Large and covered in a blue tinted wool, which is believed to be a result of an early genetic modification, to the point of only their eyes being visible, muffalos are rather docile and easily domesticated. They can be sheared for wool or slaughtered for meat and fur, making them incredibly useful to any colony. With a life expectancy of 15 years, muffalos can grow up to 144 kilograms in weight and can carry up to 180 kilograms on their back, and only present a real danger to human when an attempt is made to hunt them, as hurting one muffalo presents the risk of enraging an entire herd, which won't hesitate to trample over hunters and any nearby person. Finally, the last entry on this list, one of the rarest and mysterious creatures across the entire universe, the Thrombo. The origin of the Thrombo is unknown. Whether by evolution, genetic manipulation, or creation by an architect, no one seems to truly know where and when Thrombos originated. Extremely tall and large in size, with adults reaching up to 240 kilograms in size, Thrombos are herbivorous and dendrovorous quadrupeds, with their most prominent physical feature being the large horn on top of their head. Their bodies are also covered in a very resistant sheer white fur, providing exceptional body insulation and allowing the Thrombo to survive extreme hot or cold temperatures. While sometimes spotted alone, Thrombos tend to usually travel in pairs, but they are a rare sight in the universe, even on Rimworlds where animal life thrives effortlessly, as Thrombos have been overhunted close to extinction, as the razor-sharp horn on top of their head can be sold for a large price, bought usually by collectors or sometimes even used as a melee weapon. But it's not just their horn that is extremely valuable. A Thrombos fur, as previously mentioned, is not just a good insulator, but it's also extremely resistant, proving to be a fantastic textile material for making both beautiful and highly protective clothing articles. Thrombors are an extremely longevite species. Their life expectancy is 220 years on average, more than twice of that of a human, with certain legends narrating that Thrombos are the wisest creatures in the universe, choosing simply not to speak. There is of course no known record or proof demonstrating that the Thrombo will be capable of speech or even advanced intelligence to begin with, though with incredible difficulty, Thrombos can be tamed and trained to defend their masters or attack on command. But a tamed Thrombo is an even rarer sight than a wild one, as Thrombos are not only incredibly difficult to tame and train to begin with, but will also require incredible amounts of food or trees to be kept well fed. And with this, I have finished covering most of the unique animals found within the Rimworld universe. You may have noticed I have omitted the Dryads, and while I initially wanted to introduce them in this video, I realized that their diversity and relation to the Goranland tree will prove a subject much longer than the other animals to talk about, and decided to dedicate them their own video in the future. With this being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel for future updates. I have also recently started streaming. It's mostly Rimworld, but other games might appear in the future, and I also recently made, upon popular request, a Discord server which you can join by following the link in the community post related to it. Thank you for watching up to this point, and I wish you a good night.